WBC Faster Together, the LinkedIn Live series of Women Business Collaborative. I'm Gwen Young, CEO of WBC. WBC is an unprecedented alliance of over 80 organizations focused on equity and women's leadership and hundreds of business leaders that are building a movement to achieve equal position, pay, and power for all women in business. Through collaboration, advocacy, action, and accountability, we are mobilizing thousands to create momentum and accelerate the pace of change. We live our commitment to DEI, and members of our leadership, staff, our board of directors, and our WBC champions include more than 34% people of color. And every one of our action initiatives has DEI goals for 2025 and 2030. So please check the chat for the areas through which we aim to accelerate change, and join our movement at any time at wbcollaborative.org. Each week in this series, we offer different ways to advocate change and accelerate impact. By presenting data, research, and best practices, by lifting up the power of women's voices for change, and by showcasing leaders and companies committed to allyship, inclusivity, and driving corporate purpose. So in 2024, the search for skilled talent continues to be a theme that's the top of the mind for CEOs and C-suite leaders. Finding prospective employees with the skills and expertise needed to perform effectively in their jobs is critical to organizational success. So much that many organizations are re-examining their talent, recruitment, and retention efforts. With an influx of Gen Z employees entering the workforce and the 5 generations, it is critical that companies take a close look at how their organizational cultures meet the needs of this diverse workforce. So today I'm excited to have a conversation with Lydia Logan, IBM's VP of Global Education and Workforce Development, and she's also the head of the IBM Skills Build program. And I want to speak with Lydia to share her perspectives. What does it look like in 2024? And what does it look like to be educated in the workforce? So Lydia, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Gwen, so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be part of this conversation today.
Thank you. And we are thrilled to work with IBM. I'm thrilled to see you again and continue this conversation about what the workforce looks like today. Really, also, there's the overlay of Gen Z and AI, but tell us about Skills Build. What's the history of the program, and what made IBM the decision to embark on this journey?
Sure. IBM has been in the skilling, space for a long time. We are a skills-first company. We have programs both through corporate social responsibility, which is where I sit. We've had what we call new collar programs, which were ways to bring people into IBM who don't have 4-year degrees. And then we also work on talent transformation as a company. We believe in skilling people. We have what we call Think 40. So every IBMer is required to learn and do 40 hours, a minimum of 40 hours of learning a year. We bring our technology and our talent to communities and partners around the world. And Skills Build is a primary way that we do that. And so it's not just a program, but for us, it's extending our point of view on learning, continuous learning, and making sure that what we provide for our employees is the same thing that we're providing to our ecosystem and to people around the world. It's good for individuals, it's good for business, and it's good for society.
I love that. It's a continuous learning. And if I'm correct, your 2030 target is 30 million people globally.
That's right.
And I think you're 3 years into that. What does it look like? And is there anything that's either accelerating or something that is maybe unanticipated that you're like, okay, now we have to sort of figure out how to still get there, but adapt slightly what you're doing?
So yes, 30 million, right? It's a big goal. It's global, and I'm happy to say that we are at just over 11.5 million to that goal. So we're well on our way. It's the skilling that we're providing for free, primarily through Skills Build, but also through some of the other free opportunities we have at IBM. We on Skills Build, you can go to skillsbuild.org and create an account and start learning, but we also have partners we, again, we really believe that this is an opportunity for people to start to learn and decide whether they are interested in a career in tech, whether they're just interested in upskilling some. We conducted a study with the International, or IBV, or Institute for Business Values, and what they found when surveying CEOs is 40% believe that 40% of their workforce will need to be upskilled over the next 3 years, primarily as a result of AI in the workforce. And so we're accelerating what we're offering around AI. And that's, that's a shift. We've added a lot of AI courses, AI fundamentals, the opportunity to learn, explore a little bit about building chatbots and some of that kind of content. But we've always believed in skilling. We haven't really changed our strategy dramatically. It's more that we are always looking at what's relevant in the job market, what's relevant locally, what's demanded from the workforce, and then making sure that in a timely way and high quality, we're providing that content through our offerings. And so, get started for free. You have a chance to sort of dip your toe in, and then you can work with IBM all the way through professional certificates. Mm-hmm. But we have always had this strategy in place.
And in this strategy, how are you ensuring that this work, targeting either women leaders and potentially also, historically underrepresented people that may not, either have access to the skills or may not even know about it? Like how are we making sure that we're bringing diverse people, and as the workforce changes, ensuring that they're being brought into this and being able to be skilled up?
Sure. So we have two ways that we approach this, right? One is anybody can come and participate as an individual learner. You can go to skillsbuild.org and create an account and start learning. The other is we have partners. And in those partners, we're looking at, are we helping to expand options in the tech sector? There's a talent gap, and we know that. And because there's a talent gap, we want to make sure that we're casting a wide net and making sure that there are opportunities for everyone to engage who wants to. We had conducted a study with Morning Consult, a survey, and we found about 50% of people don't know where to start for a career in tech, or they think it's not right for them, or they think it's too expensive. And so we're saying it's not too expensive. We can show you a place to start, and it can be for you. We created something called the Tech Type Quiz, and we can share that link. And it's a fun and easy way for people to create a little profile. It's a quiz. It's short, and it'll show you I'm an innovative explorer, and that might align to a design, a web developer or something like that. And mm-hmm. You can start with this kind of course that will help you on the journey to becoming that. Now, you may not go all the way to write that full professional pathway, but it helps you understand that this is something you could do. So I think it's that, right? It's where do you start? It's not too expensive, and this could be for you. I think it's also understanding that there are mentors. So we offer mentors through Skills Build and through some of our volunteering initiatives. We want to make sure that people understand that there's supports there for them, and that the journeys that people take are varied. Not everybody takes a direct path, and that's okay. You can earn some digital credentials that show what you've learned. We know that people start on a path. They may take some time off. They may start to work. They learn on the job. They move on to do other things, or they may take time out. We know this is especially true for women with all the demands on them, their time and family. So we want to make sure that there are opportunities for women and other groups to continue on their journey, whatever that is, which is why it's really important to be able to do some learning at your own pace, and path. Earn mm-hmm. some digital credentials from IBM, put those in your wallet, and keep going forward. So I think those are things that we offer. We believe deeply that people should choose their own path, and that we want to be with you on that journey.
I love that. And I especially love the fact that like not every path is the same, not every path is linear, right? Because that's a message we work on a lot. Because I think when you're young, you think it's linear, but I think there's an expectation there, which is important.
Absolutely.
You know, people are often asking us, and I'd love to ask you, you know, what are the top skills you need in business today? You know, what does it look like? You mentioned AI, right? So we talked prior to this call about, you know, knowledge of what AI is exactly, you know, where and how to use it. It seems very critical to sort of almost every job. But what are, you know, a few years ago it was cybersecurity expertise, right? You know, what are the top skills? What do people need to be kind of looking at?
Well, if you look at what the World Economic Forum's revolution, skilling revolution reports are talking about, you'll notice that the workplace skills, which we used to call soft skills, are coming back, right? They've gone back to the top of the list. And I think what people have realized is technical skills have a half-life. So you're constantly learning new skills, but those, what some people are calling durable skills, communication, collaboration, it may be project management or design thinking, those skills you need for any sector, for any job in order to be successful. So we offer both because we know that the technical skills may get you in the door, but it's those workplace skills that are going to keep you in your job and make you successful. So you need to have the lifelong learning mindset. You need to get the technical skills, which right now the hot skills are, AI fundamentals. It may be using generative AI for efficiencies and automation and applying them to do basic research and prompt writing and successive prompting and things like that to get a first draft or to create a basic plan or something like that. And then you as a person have to be able to use your critical thinking skills and refine what it gives you. You can't just take it and move from there and submit it, right? We've all heard horror stories about people who've done that and then found out, oh, there's some errors in there. So you've got to have your critical thinking hat on when you use it, but you do need to use it. People are concerned that AI is going to take your job. And what we have always said and heard is AI may not take your job, but someone who knows how to use it will. So get the skills, learn how to use it, learn how to think critically, get your durable skills, pair the technical and durable skills together. That's the winning combination.
I love that. Pair that together. And you alluded to it earlier. You alluded to sort of who has access. Is how important is this kind of continual learning, something like SkillsBuilt is to IBM in both sort of employee retention and promotion and really sort of engagement across the company?
It's really important. I mean, we had a watsonx challenge for IBMers, right? Where we all have to learn the new technology. So we're walking the talk. We don't just ask other people to do it. We do it ourselves. We do it with our clients. We do it with our nonprofit partners, our university partners. We believe that everyone should be learning. You should always be upskilling. And this is something that's constant. It's just part of the fabric of what we do. It's not an option. And the more advanced technology gets, the more important it is for all of us to gain those skills. And so I think, there are small companies that may not have the resources to do this on their own, but or small nonprofits or organizations in your communities, but there are resources out there. We're offering just one, but recognize that everyone is part of a community, part of an ecosystem. Lean on what's available to you and make sure that you're participating. A lot of people are concerned and they're sort of leaning back and shutting down. And I'd say, don't do that. Stick your toe in the water, try something out, and understand that, it's going to continue to change. You mentioned cybersecurity. There's a lot where cybersecurity and AI and the use of generative AI in particular go together, right? You have to be very careful about when you use your personal information and are you making sure that you know how that data is being used and where it's going. So when you're using one of these generative AI models and you're using it to do some personal planning, be careful about what you're putting in there, right? Use it, but But keep in mind, your own cybersecurity, protecting your own data is also important. So while cybersecurity may not be the hot topic we're all talking about, there is an intersection there that's very important.
Absolutely. And that's perfect into kind of, how we end these and where kind of, I think the power of WBC is in our partnership with IBM, which is the sort of call to action space, right? You said this is woven into the fabric, the continual learning, the skills build, and the opportunities. We know that IBM has a commitment to both corporate purpose and women's leadership and DEI, but what is the call to action? What can you tell other companies, tell the audience, what should people be doing?
So I think there are a few things, right? One of them is make sure you get those foundational AI skills that are so important today. Whether you start with us with Skills Build at skillsbuild.org or you start somewhere else, start. I think for young people, it's find your mentors. We have some that are, we offer our volunteers that come speak to groups. They love, connecting with young people. But we also have women at IBM who have recorded their career journeys because we have a strong belief in a sort of see it, be it theory, that it's hard for you to decide what you want to be and where you want to go if you've never seen it before. Mm-hmm. And so we make those available. Other companies can do the same in their own sector, right? Have the women in your company, even if they're not available live, have you thought about ways that they can share their story for the next generation and created opportunities for people to see that path? So I think that's a great option, and it's been really popular. And then lean in, keep learning, make sure that you're honing both your technical skills and your durable skills, because that combination is the combination that's going to land you the job and keep you there.
That's perfect. I love it, and the learning, and that's what we try to do on these LinkedIn Live. That's what we try to do together as the collaborative, is continually work with people like IBM and yourself, our partner organizations that are working in this space, whether they're working on women in the boardroom, executive leadership promotion and other types of training, is how are we all learning from each other? How are we all learning together? And as the workforce is changing and leadership is changing, let's not be afraid of it, to your point, but let's embrace and adopt and understand. So I really appreciate your engagement today.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure being here. I look forward to talking some more as all of these technologies that we are using every day are changing the way that we live and work. Let's learn together.
Let's learn together. Great words coming off the IBM Think Conference a few weeks ago. So thank you, Lydia. And thank you, everyone. That is all that we have time for today. So we invite you to wbcollaborative.org, where you can learn about WBC's initiatives and work to increase women in the C-suite and boardroom, and to address the underrepresentation of women in STEM, and as well the available capital for women. But also our aim, which is to advance a pipeline of women leaders that are going to bring gender and pay equity, diversity, equity, inclusion to the workplace. So stay curious, keep learning, and keep engaging. So join us weekly to keep up to date on our next guest and our progress, the movement for gender equity in business, and the latest issues by following us on wbcollaborative.org, on Twitter and LinkedIn. Thank you again, Lydia. And yes, let's keep up with the next generation. Now that we have Gen Z, we're